Your Houston Rockets. Your Houston Rockets. What's their future looking like? They lost Mike D'Antoni. Russell Westbrook's not panning out for them. They don't got big men. They traded their only good big man. What do you do with that roster?
This roster has been broken for about 2 years, and I'll tell you why. First, you got rid of Ariza, okay? And then you picked up a Carmelo Anthony off of Ariza, and you're not even going to start him? Okay, that's broke once, because I already lost about 25 to 50% of my defense, right? And then on top of that, once I get rid of Ariza, I'm going to go ahead and throw Chris Paul out the picture too. Why are we throwing Chris Paul out the picture? Because Chris Paul is arguing with our man James Harden. And then once I throw out Chris Paul, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of Clint Capella and bring in Covington and put Tucker back in the paint. The Rockets have been broken. I've just been watching them because of James Harden. As soon as James Harden leaves, I leave. The Rockets are not my team. James Harden is my team. As soon as James Harden leaves, I leave. And if you want to call me, what is it called? Like a backpack or whatever? I'm the backpack or the explorer backpack. Bandwagon. Yeah, bandwagon. I'm a bandwagon off of James Harden. If anybody's got a problem with that, you're a bandwagon off of LeBron James.
I'm not a bandwagon off of LeBron James, though.
A lot of people are. And that's what I'm saying. But if they have a problem with that, if they have a problem with that, think about that.
Why can't
that's
you?
Not
why can't
bandwagon.
You roll to a team?
When you follow a player, that's not bandwagon. That's not
if
bandwagon.
If you're a fan of that player since he got drafted, or if the first time you watched anything and that player was the first player that caught your eye and you're like, I like that player, and you stick with that player until the end of his career, that's not bandwagon. But if this player comes out here, shows all-star numbers, wins MVP, and you're like, oh, I kind of like him, and you follow him for the rest of his career just because he did that, that's bandwagon.
I mean, I still think bandwagon is just liking a team just because everybody else likes them or they get a win. I think you can like somebody no matter what. I mean, in that case, you could call all Kobe fans bandwagon. Kobe fans would literally boo him and then still get that jersey signed. So I'm like, that's not bandwagon. That's just true sportsmanship and being a fan now. Like liking a team like me this year with the Rockets, right? Say James Harden goes somewhere else. LBJ wins this year with the Lakers. Then next year, if I were to like the Lakers because they're the most dominant team in the NBA, that's a bandwagon. People are switching it up. But the Rockets, back to your question, the Rockets have been broken. Getting rid of Chris Paul broke it up. It's getting Chris Paul and having Mike D'Antoni still as the coach broke it up.
You think if they kept Chris Paul? You think if they kept Chris Paul, they were making it farther in the finals?
Oh yeah, I think they would have beat. The Warriors in Game 7. What was it last year? Last year, if Chris Paul didn't get injured.
Yeah, if Chris Paul was healthy, I feel like Houston could have won that.
And I'll tell you why. Because Chris Paul doesn't care about what Mike D'Antoni has to say. You want to know why? Because Mike D'Antoni is not a playoff champion coach. Ask Carmelo.
I mean, if he was here,
I think a lot of Houston fans are expecting something big when they brought in Russell Westbrook. But as someone who's watched the Thunder for a long time, after seeing playoff P and Russell Westbrook in the playoffs, I can tell you right now, man, that you watched them get absolutely motorboated by Utah one year, and then the next year they get motorboated by who? The Trailblazers back-to-back year, and 4-1 too, being the upper dogs in that series. I mean, you get rid of a guy like Westbrook, I'm not really disappointed. I mean, I think the Heat fans saw real fast what type of guy they're getting in Russell Westbrook.
Look, Westbrook, if you hear this, man, I'm a big fan, right? But you're not good for my team at all. Not the way you played this year. Are you kidding me? 2 for 9? That's despicable. You're the one breaking records? Quadruple doubles. Where's the quadruple doubles in the playoffs? Somebody please tell me, where are the quadruple doubles in the playoffs? Because I was looking for them, and I'm sure, James Harden was looking for them as well. Great. You put up a couple points. We appreciate that, 4 points, 2 for 9. Great job. But just to let you know, buddy, 2 for 9, right? 9 minus 2 is 7, right? 7 times 2 is 14. Every shot that you miss, we lost by that many points. Should have gave the ball to James Harden. Got your little triple double at least.
Speaking of that, Game 6 versus the Thunder, late in the game, instead of having the ball in Harden's hands, Westbrook was taking all the shots and they weren't making. And they ended up losing that game and going to Game 7. He airballed a potential game winner. You know, I think that's that game right there would have made me fire Mike D'Antoni at that moment, because you get the ball away from possibly, I think, the best scorer in the league in James Harden, and you let Westbrook take the shots in the playoffs. I didn't agree with that at all.
But Mike D'Antoni left on his own.
Fired.
Mike D'Antoni left on his own. Mike said that he didn't want to re-sign. And I think it's the best thing that's happened to the Rockets since he's got there. He said he didn't want to re-sign. They made a whole post. The Rockets made a whole post saying, we sat down and he doesn't want to re-sign. But I mean, I think it low key was that he got fired. I think it was low key that he got released because they see that he's not going to win with that, because can we just please just take a flashback to
just last year? I mean, you should have won something. You should have won something with that team.
As soon as, right? Wasn't last year the year that LeBron got hurt? LeBron was in the finals. So we got 1 year where LeBron is in finals, right? First time in almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
First time.
He had 8 straight
LeBron
years
isn't in the
that.
finals. Well, the Rockets are basically we'll take the other side and meet the Warriors at the end, because we don't have to worry about LBJ. That's cool. We coached it on through. When Chris Paul gets hurt, can somebody? Oh man, I can't even tell you how many threes were shot in that game. How many threes were shot in that game? Also, let's take a look at this, right? Capella is 4 for 5 because they're not able to guard him, because that means a 7-foot paint beast. 7-foot paint beast, 4 for 5. Why are we still shooting threes? Why are we still shooting threes and not just dishing in it? I'll tell you why. Chris Paul is hurt and Mike D'Antoni is your coach, because you live or die by the three. And that's exactly what they did. They died.
Hear me out. This offseason, the Rockets, if they can bring in a free agent, what can they do this offseason to improve their team?
I don't know. I'm trying to get James Harden off the Rockets so we can go some other place and win a championship. I don't think the Rockets can come back. The Rockets have screwed up their team, man. The back office is just disappointing. This is almost just as disappointing as Jordan, when that general manager got rid of their team and got rid of the coach. Except that coach was great. I'm like, it started with Ariza, man. Not re-signing Ariza, I get it. Ariza is expensive. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. That's an understandable cut. But then letting Chris Paul go, I would have done everything I could to keep a point guard, a true point guard that is not going to score. People talk about Russell Westbrook being on the team is great. Russell Westbrook, just for anybody that would like to know, is not a true point guard. His position number, his position is a point guard. But personally, the way that he plays, he is a shooting guard. A true point guard is Chris Paul. That is a true point guard. As soon as you let him go, you let some little entertainer come in, and the entertainer messed up everything. I said this when this happened. Russell Westbrook isn't going to do anything. They've been playing together for a while now. Okay. What did that do? Exactly nothing. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. It didn't do anything. And then what happened when he got back to the Rockets? Nothing.